Yo, what's up folks, TCG here, and today we're looking at Golgari Sacrifice. New Phyrexia cards, new Phyrexia tools. Some of you may know I'm a huge fan of Citadel in the Explorer and Pioneer formats. And the idea is that basically that traditionally in the past, Black-Green Sacrifice hasn't had enough tools in and of itself, with the creature base, to, you know, be like consistent enough to be good. And what we have in Phyrexia is Tyvar Jubilant Brawler, and giving us an engine card, similar to what we're doing with Citadel. Where Citadel, we're like, okay, we're gonna make this 6 mana thing and kill you. You obviously need to cast a 6 mana card to do that. Tyvar is a 3 mana engine to himself, that lets you play a normal sacrifice game plan, you know, not having to necessarily build up a massively wide board to start going off, and kill your opponent over several turns, and it's an engine to itself. It gives... Okay, let's go through the abilities. But firstly, static ability. You may activate abilities of creatures you control as though those creatures have haste. So, this is super important. Obviously, cool if you're like... In like Citadel, for example, you'd be able to activate your mana guides at the top. Here, the main thing, really, is Priest of Forgotten Gods. Be able to activate Priest of Forgotten Gods the time it comes in, and, you know, you get that 2 black mana, draw a card, maybe you want to play another one, activate that one, you know, off to the races. It does let you, again, activate these mana guys the time it comes in, which is nice when you draw them off the top later on. Use the mana before you sack them away and stuff. Obviously, it's got a couple of other good modes too. So, +1 untap up to 1 target creature. Okay, cool. For 3 mana, so you can play it on turn 3 off one of these elves. You can either use it to make mana. Again, the most busted thing you can do with Tyvar is activate Priest of the Forgotten Gods a bunch of times. And then, you know, you get more and then do some stuff. And then this other ability here, this -2 is kind of the real money on the card. It's mill 3. Then you may return a creature card with mana value 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. And again, activate abilities of creatures you control as those creatures have haste. Get your priest back. You know, so it looks a little bit like a priest combo deck. And to an extent it is, but being able to recur all your other creatures, your like payoff cards, with like Zugaport Cutthroat, Vran, and then just like getting able to get back Lazarus Reaver to just deploy more creatures, super strong. And so in this version of the deck, you're basically using Tyvar instead of using something like Citadel, and it's an engine to itself, and it being 3 mana instead of 6 is huge. Be able to play it off of turn 2 off of Llanowar Elves. It does tons and tons. The advantage of the Citadel deck is that you make the Citadel on like turn 3 against opponents without interaction, something like mono green. And against, like, in a meta where your opponent's not interacting with you a lot, then maybe the Citadel version of the deck is still better. But in general, this version of the deck, where you can play through all the interaction because you've got Tyvar to recur everything, super powerful. And so let's get through the rest of the deck. So we've got our 8 mana guys, our 4 Elvish Mystics, our 4 Llanowar Elves. We've got our kind of payoff cards here, 4 copies of Zugaport Cutthroat. Obviously, whenever it or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 and you gain a life. We have 4 copies of Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Tap, sacrifice 2 other creatures. Any number of target players each lose 2 life and sacrifice a creature. You add black and draw a card. So, there are a couple of different ways to make multiple creatures here. So, Lazarus Breather, something that, you know, didn't really do enough in the older traditional sacrifice decks and Explorer. Here, just being able to, because we're really playing into Priest, being able to make the 2 bodies here. Obviously, ETB and -1 makes a 1/1 zombie. Notably, like if you've got a second one in hand, you want to like sacrifice this zombie to something because it'll make another one. Like, sure, you can make a big zombie, but it's generally better for you to go wide and maybe take advantage of some of your sacrifice effects like Scry or something else. And then we've got another new card from Phyrexia, Vran, Executioner Thane. 1 and a black for a 2/2. Legendary, and then whenever 1 or more creatures you control die, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life, but it only triggers once a turn. And again, we're kind of, in this version of the Sacrifice deck, trying to grind our opponents out over a bit longer of a game, activating Priest of the Forgotten Gods a bunch, recurring stuff with Tyvar, and of course we still have our, just I don't know, holding everything together at the top here with Collected Company. And then we've got a few other things. So we talked about Lazarus Reaver gives you a way to get 2 bodies for 1 card. And the rest of the deck kind of also does that. So you've got Woe Strider, which is obviously incredible. 3 mana for a 3/2. Makes a goat, but then it's got the sacrifice ability. Sacrifice another Scry 1. And it's one of the only like free sacrifice abilities in Explorer in terms of being able to add it at instant speed. And it not costing like mana or some other resource to activate. And you can often use it to kind of scry towards a company, scry towards one of your payoff cards, if you're like stored on the board. And then it obviously has that escape ability as well. Comes back from the graveyard, back selecting 4 cards, pay 5 mana. Comes out with 2 counters, and just gives you, again, more durability, recursion, resilience. Love it. So how else are getting more bodies? Love Strip Beast here. Makes it as a creature early, which you can sacrifice to Priest of the Forgotten Gods. And obviously comes down as a 5/5, which can block. Or, hey, if you want to get aggressive. But it being able to stabilize the board really well versus the aggressive decks is also really, really big for the deck. And then, obviously, Collector Company and Tyvar at the top here. Mana base is fairly straightforward. We've got 4 Overgrown Tomb, 4 Llanowar Waste, 4 Darksword, 4 Pathway, 4 Blooming Marsh, a Beseiju and Takenuma, both of which pretty strong here. Beseiju, destroying things like Temporary Lockdown. Takenuma, obviously, recur your payoff cards. Does slices, dices, and then a couple of forests and swamps around at the mana base. I should say also that this deck is heavily influenced from work that Todd Anderson has done in Pioneer on the deck, and he's done a bunch, and you can find different variations that he's kind of like played with as well online. Big recommend there if you're looking to play the deck in Pioneer and Paper. And then, yeah, we are a Giganta deck, so let's get into the sideboard. 3 copies of Fatal Push. 4 copies of Fatal Push. Sorry. 3 copies of Scavenging Ooze versus Graveyard decks. Obviously, Fatal Push, where you've got creatures that you kind of need to destroy, or versus aggro. You just need to have some ways to interact to slow your opponent down, or kill things that are stopping you kind of going off. Scavenging Users versus Graveyard decks like Greasefang. We've got 3 copies of Cankerbloom, gives you some flexibility. That Proliferate ability does actually come in handy a little bit, especially because you can recur the Cankerbloom with Tyvar. Obviously, you're not building up to an ultimate, but there's stuff to be done. But mostly you're playing it for the destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, and then hey, you can recur this effect, which is quite nice. You're like, okay, cool, I'm going to blow up an artifact when I run back. And then also, hey, it's a 2 mana 3/2, so you can just get down and beat in with it until your opponent has a thing you want to kill. So just run it out and have it ready. Last couple things to round things out. Gravelight is an interesting one. So it's a 3 mana 2/2 flyer. Enter the battlefield, draw a card if a creature died this turn, otherwise each player sacrifices a creature. Because you have all the sacrifice effects, you can kind of control which mode you want this on. And yeah, it's great. It's great. And then lastly, 2 copies of Midnight Reaper. Anyone who played some of like, the older sacrifice decks back in like Guilds of Ravnica Standard will be familiar with this. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, deals 1 damage to you and draw a card. Versus mid-range control, where they're going to try and kill a bunch of stuff. Why not draw a bunch of cards? Have to be a little chaos versus aggro, because you can kind of burn yourself out a little bit. But yeah, 2 mid-range reapers in the sideboard, kind of holding the fort down. Cool. Deck is really, really sweet. I played a bit with it. We're going to hop into some ranked games. But if you're new here, please do subscribe to the channel. I really, really appreciate it. Lots of Explorer content. This video is actually coming out a day late. I was at Axiom this weekend, kind of playing a Magic tournament, and just had to spend a day recovering pretty much. But I do have a couple of things coming from that. I have a Modern Infect deck profile coming out probably tomorrow for when I post this. And I've got some more Explorer stuff, and then eventually, I think probably next week, I'll post the Pioneer deck that I played, which was Hammer. So, good times, good times. Alright, I will see you into rank games. Okay. Match number 1. I'll play a few, it depends how long they go. Yeah, at least a couple of matches in. When did I roll? That's step 1, of course. Let's go to play. Obviously, we have Love Strip Beast here, but 1 in hand, we want to get rid of that. This looks fairly good. We've got Llanowar Elf into, like, Priest plus make a creature. And I put one of the Forgotten Priests on the bottom, but it is a... yeah. I like this. We have a tough one else to start, and then we can work things out from there. Sideboard this time, we kind of want to make sure we have enough green sources. But I think we're good. Alright. Extra Blooming Marsh will clear that all up for us. We'll make the Priest here, and then we will Heart's Desire to make a 1/1. And now we're threatening to activate the Priest next turn. And once now we've got kind of out of the gates, getting towards 3/4 mana, we don't mind too much about having the Elvish Mystic in play, and can feel fairly okay about sacrificing it away. We've got Burning Tree Emissary, see what they have. Oh, a second Burning Tree is rough. We're really hoping to dodge the removal spell for the Priest, otherwise, okay. This looks alright. So we have Woe Strider. I'm going to play this green side. So we can play both of these, we have to be a little careful about it. I think that I would rather get the Zulaport Cutthroat triggers than sacrifice the elf. Maybe we want to hold off on the Moisturizer till later anyway. We're going to sacrifice the Alpha away. Priest is making us mana too, so hey. We're drawing towards more cards. They're going to have to put one of those burning trees in the bin, which, you know, all happy about that. We draw Company. Oh, you can just Company here. I kind of like the idea of that. It's probably better than being... It lets us be mana efficient as well. Yep. Seems good. So we have Reeve, we've got Lovestrip Beast, we've got Cutthroat. We want the Cutthroat, and we have to work out whether we want to have extra creatures, or... So we have a Lovestrip Beast already. I'm tempted to delete the Lazarus Reaver. That for sure lets us get a good activation out of Priest next turn. Instead of making Moisturize, we're going to have the token floating around anyway. I kind of like taking Lovestrip Beast just to wall them off, but we're going to go with this. Go wider. And yeah. Ensure we have like a solid plan. Next. Oh, that's brutal. Well, they take a bunch of damage for that. But that is big. Alright, they're going to go to 10. No blocks, thank you. I have Company here, but we don't have the mana to make it. What we're going to do is Woe Strider, and then we will main phase activate this Priest, and see if we draw anything off of it. And yeah, we'll go like this. The land is good. We can make green, put that Lesser Beast into play. Can't attack, but we'll block the Chain Whirler for at least a day. And then the land's going to give us the mana for Company next turn. They're on 8. Because we did use a couple of the other artifacts. Oh, this is a little tough. We can't block the Chain Whirler. This attack is bold. We're at 25. I guess we're not currently activating this. It does actually have to be a 1/1, not just like a 1 power creature. Worth noting. We will start with a Company. Zulu Cutthroat, Lazarus Reaver should be pretty good. That might just be game. We'll activate here. Sacrifice both of the new cards. The Zulu Cutthroat will keep the Lazarus Beast online. They have to sacrifice one creature, we get to make some stuff. The Lazarus Beast gets to connect, and it forces the block. It forces the block with Tilbrand. It's still giving it gravy. So for us here, I quite like Scavenging Use to gain some life, and Fatal Push is decent. It works out. It starts with going like, okay, what are we actually taking out? What are we cutting down on? Vran is a bit too slow here, I feel like. Which is a shame because, you know, I like to play on new cards. Similarly, Tyvar, well, card stuff, like the cards are really leaning on a Lovestrip Beast, and then there's cards that you just kind of can't cut, like the Priest and the Voice Riders, the Companies. Company really lets us catch back up. Push isn't excellent for what it's worth. It might be that we just don't need these. In which case, because really, with Lovestrip Beast, one of the nice things about Lovestrip Beast in the deck is that it kind of can just absorb all the damage from all the early creatures. I might tend to cut a Tyvar. Just because in theory we shouldn't be grinding with them too hard. They're also going to have some cards that exile creatures, most likely. We're not cutting mana creatures, we're not cutting Cutthroats, we're not cutting Voice Rider. I'm between cutting a Company and cutting a Tyvar. Company costing 4 mana, it's fine. We know that our creatures are going to die. It's just a case of do they go maybe or not. I think I'm going to trim a Company. Yeah, because I'm going to have interaction for a mana, guys. I think this is reasonable. Feel free to disagree in the comments. Alright, game 2. This time we'll be on the draw, which was going to make it a bit tougher. Well, a lot tougher. Yeah, we do. Decent. Well, so on paper it looks pretty good. We've got like an acceleration, we've got double Zebra Cutthroat, but actually we haven't got any of the cards that are good against our opponent. That's a tip for clog the ground up and leave stop us from dying, but we kind of still need to draw one of our payoffs. Which sounds silly to say, because we've got like, hey, we've got double Zebra Cutthroat going on. Them not having anything here is good for us. I will shock Overgrown Tomb because it'll save us life over the course of the game, as opposed to just activating Llanowar Waste. We're going to end up shocking it eventually. May as well do it now, make sure we're not taking extra damage. Gonna be an interesting predicament. So we're getting Burning Tree again. How many do they have this time, and do they have a removal spell off the back of it? Okay, Carry Zev is a clock. He's decent. The Scavenging Use is good here, but we want to play it later on in the game. I think our best bet really is to make Priest, Llanowar Elf, give us access to the most mana next turn. The one downside to this is that if they have a Chain Whirler, it's pretty rough. But it's going to be rough no matter what we play. The then upside of that is that we get to then potentially gain a lot of life with Scavenging Use. They're going to have a Chain Whirler. Okay, that's rough. But the way our deck's set up, we still will get to activate Priest if we want to. Yeah. No blocks. But 12, in a pretty tough spot. Tyvar's interesting. So we can go Lazotep, activate, Cutthroat. Is that good enough? That's the best we can do. We want to hope to draw into a land here, really. That's the actual kind of dream. But we'll see. We're kind of priced into what we're doing. Alright, we did draw land. So we can make... I think we make Tyvar. Bring back the Lazotep Reaver is the actual play. Not that it does a ton of blocking. We could also hit something with a mill. Okay. Bring back the Reaver. A little tricky. Like we don't do a very good job of blocking carries, Ev. Obviously the Chain Whirler will eat what it hits. But now they also have some decisions to make. Are they going to attack Tyvar? Are they going to attack... Not having Tallbrand here is really good for us. Okay. Well, this hasn't got Menace. And so these are us. Is this bait? What am I looking at? What happens if we say no blocks? Does double activating Priest do something good? I think we're taking 4, going to 8. Think about it. So we've got one creature in play, we have to play a creature to activate. So say we play Cutthroat Ooze. We have Ooze as well. I think Ooze means we actually want to block with this. Also means we can bring it back. We don't need to worry about creatures. I'm going to keep the Tyvar alive. That's what we're going to opt to do. And yeah, we actually want to block with the token, because if we bring it, like, drawing or bringing back another Lazotep Reaver, then it's going to make a difference. Alright, what else have they got, though? They could just have a removal spell for one of these. Well, for the Priest, we'd be in pretty big trouble. Oh, no! They I'm thinking about the attacks, they probably didn't realize that it damaged stuff. Alright, we're in a tricky spot. Okay. Well, we want our Skew's green side up, and we're going to aim to exile a bunch of creatures with it. In fact, I'm going to do one of these now. I'll eat the Burning Tree here. Have it at 3 at least. And then can maybe have main phase at 4. Let's see, they've got 3 cards left in hand. Mountain, to the top. Okay, Robber. Robber not the worst. They will get to draw off of it. Trying to think how he has to play this. You can only eat one of these? Okay, let's see what they steal. They still have Woe Strider, which they can't cast. That's decent. So... These Scavenging Use. I think because we're unlikely to be able to deploy both of our creatures this turn. Oh, we're on 8. Let's think about it. We're taking 3. Yeah, doing this seems bad. It's hard to block the Chain Whirler because we don't trade into it. Yeah, I think this is right. Because if they do have like the random burn spell, then we at least trade with the Robber of the Ridge. We'll declare blocks like this. The Carry Zev is really problematic. It looks like they cut. Oh no. That's okay. And we didn't need to think about it. It's fine. We'll leave Eleanor off. I've not actually done the maths, but I've done the real maths. That's important. Yeah. Okay, let's go game 3. Yeah, they had a really good draw, and we're on the play. Do I want the Fatal Pushes? Carries is pretty tricky, but I don't think we want to dilute from what we're already doing. Is there anything I'm not happy with? Like, all these cards are great, is the thing. Yeah, no, I'm happy to run it back. I'm still fine with trimming that one company. Alright, on the play. We got a lens. We have the priest into Battle Reavers, but we don't have the Idea Accelerant. We're not always going to have it, but hey. I'll lead with the Lana always, just so I get a bit more information before I choose what to put the Dartboard Pathway on. We're probably going to put it on black given our hand, but hey. The second priest gives us a bit of insurance. Would like to draw another land here, but we probably play a Reaver in that case, and then cast the Voice Rider off of the Reaver. Let's see what our opponent has. Burning Tree for game number 3 as well. Okay, they're eyeing up the priest. Okay. We are abraded. In that case, the massive incentive is still to play the priest. That's the biggest payoff. I think we run this back out. Test that extra removal spell. Gotta force that hand here. We want to have a priest active. That's what we'd like. Our hand isn't very weak to Chain Whirler, I was going to say. That's one of the nice things about it. Okay, so we've not had a creature as of yet. So we're going to go ahead and Reaver. We'll activate Priest of Forgotten Guard, see what we draw. Okay, Blooming Marsh is not too bad. We could take... Oh no, because we've got Black Banner. We should be mana efficient, play the Voice Rider here, and we'll play out the Blooming Marsh from our hand. Alright. Solid, solid, solid. And then we've got another Reaver, Voice Rider, like we're activating Priest of the Forgotten Gods for days now. It's just a case of how much stuff they can play. They've got 4 lands, but they've got 5 cards in hand. They spent their first couple of times doing this instead of flooding the board with Burning Trees. So, we will see, we will see. What do we got? Stomp is good. I'm not going to sacrifice a response because we want our goat to deal with stuff. See if they have a 2-drop follow-up. They do not. We have Company versus play cards from hand. Both is good. I'll lead with Reaver. Again, in theory, the scams you can use, well, especially while they're not pressuring us, gets better the longer it's around. Sacrifice the tokens. Yeah. Alright, you got 4 mana. You can make Voice Strider, Love Strip Beast. You can do a lot. We just have to remember that they might decide that they want to. Oh, they might draw. They might have another Chain Whirler, so we don't want to play into that too heavily. I kind of like Voice Rider plus the first half of this. I mean, it does a good middle ground job of playing around it. Like, we'll lose a couple of things, but we get some scries off the Voice Rider. Decent, decent. They still have tons of cards in hand. It is pretty interesting. The turn 5 Bunny Emissary, not as potent as the turn 2 Bunny Emissary. But hey, it's free. They've got the Bunny Giant still. They're going to start putting the bungs on the board. Alright. Our turn. I want to lead off with Company here. Because we want to find... There we go. Is it the pot cutthroat? We may as well find the scavenging ooze while we're here, I think. And let's do some stuff. We do still have a 1-1. I will keep an extra one around, actually. So, to be fair, this is fine. And yeah, with those Zilliple Cut away, these are going to really start chipping them down. We might actually make some attacks here. We go 12. I'm fine to just play this. There's not any scavengers active. We don't have a way to like use our mana and do stuff with this. We have the backup one. There's only so much food out there. Yes, we can decide to attack here. But being able to hold this up just to sack things away is too valuable, I think. I think they'll happily trade into it, I think, at this point in the game. Okay. Things looking pretty good. Again, hey, they have Chain Whirler, but even then, we're going to drain them for 4. Yeah, like here, we're going to scry a bit. Attacking him, I've got a land. Do I want to... Yeah, I think I do. We'll just sacrifice the Zilliple Cutthroat to scry. We'll put that on the bottom as well. Yeah, I don't really expect them to have much graveyard hate. It's not like it's like Rest in Peace and stops us with all our Dies effects. They've gone super flooded, to be fair. So hey, fair enough. We scroll a couple of times to the bottom, see what we hit into. Black. I'm gonna make new old Voice Rider. I'll leave the Zilliple Cutthroat in the graveyard because you can bring that back. Potentially. The Priest of the Gods is also like we do that with. But hey. I'll hold off playing this land or else just to see what we draw here. I'm trying to work out what we want to actually sacrifice away. So currently we can't sacrifice them. We might go post-combat sacrifice. Do you want to do that? I don't think so. Let's activate. One of the things, we've got one card in the graveyard at the minute. We could theoretically like sacrifice this away. Because we do have a bigger backup. Or like the Lost Strip Beast itself, but I think this is fine. Want to make them choose between the Giant and the Chain Whirler. Because if the Giant's not there, both are, well, don't give you the beast attacks. Oh, there actually is Tyvar. Yeah. Let's do that. One minus.
Rally, my friend.
Bring one of these back. Use the combat. We'll go over 5. This block is forced unless they've got some interaction. Alright. Fair enough. Then we will try and kill them. Played it like a set. Alright, nice! Well, I will see you in the next match. I think I'll play one more. This is 20 minutes. If we have another 20 minutes, I'll play one more. If we have a shorter one, I'll play 2. Alright, match number 2. See what we're up against here. Yeah, one of the nice things between Lovestruck Beast and some of the, like, being able to play like Lazarus Reaver to make a lot of blockers, the mono red matchup is a little nicer than playing like either the older Black Green Sacrifice deck or Citadel. We will opt to play here. We do have a 1-lander, despite double Land or Elf, double Lovestruck Beast, it's still very sketchy. We're going to mulligan. And we'll keep this. Looks decent. If a little bit slow. They've also mulliganed, it looks like. We'll keep this. What do we want to put back? Lovestruck Beast gives us the turn 1 play. I don't really want to bottom a Zilliple Cutthroat. But no, okay. Let's play to what the deck's trying to do. Keep both Cutthroats and we'll try and find something to pop off with them with the Tyvar. Alright. Getting to start for a Starter's Desire as well. Also, this signifies that we're playing like mono green. Alright, well, Zeta point number 3 isn't necessarily what we wanted to see. I'll attack. And then they're going to be very surprised when they see Zeta point cuts, right? Or maybe they're not. Harvester. Alright, well, black-red should be fairly good for us. We haven't drawn a land here, which, you know, is a little bit rough. We're just going to keep playing Zeta point cuts. And hey, Harvester will take one of these out, but unless they've got another creature to block, at least that's going to clear some way. Yeah, I think that we played them like a set. We really did play them like a set. Well, I'm going to sit here behind the wall of Zeta Cuts, right? I'm trying to wonder if there's like a Bible effect in the format. They're going to be like, what's happening? Alright, well, we had a land. I kind of want to play the other Zeta Cuts, right, just to kind of clean up. I'm not going to show anything yet. Actually, no, I should play Wall Strider. That actually forces some responses, I'd imagine. And we get to scry towards our next card. I don't want to expose Tyvar yet. They're wisely here thinking about responding to this trigger just to deny us a sacrifice. Which is fair, I think. Alright, move the treasure away. Push it. We will sacrifice the 1/1. We have a bit of a look. That we want to draw, even though we don't have the 4th land for it. It's so good in the matchup. Let's see, yeah. Yeah, they get drained for another 3. But they must do so. And then, yeah, we have our goat. Ooh, Thoughtseize is good. They see the 4 to the book cuts, right? They're going to take the Tyvar. Wisely, I think. They have to find a way now to... Ah, nice. Okay, Croxa gets through these. The thing it also does, though, is get us towards... We actually know we're not drawing anything relevant this time, which is rough. We will have to play the Love Struck Beast. But hey. They at least don't get to Thoughtseize the Collector Company. Alright, how close are we to... Oh, we're miles away off mana-wise. There's still going to be a massive grind for them to kind of get through. But hey. They're a couple of cards away from bringing Croxa back. Obviously, they can sacrifice the Blood Tide Harvest to go up into the graveyard. That's pretty good. We're gonna move to combat. We'll attack with the Love Strip Beast, see what they do. They're gonna let us attack, which says that they don't have great answers to the Cutthroat. Now, this is a free card on the graveyard, but they could just sacrifice it if they wanted to anyway. Sure. What are we bringing back? That's all I want to know. Another Blood Tide Harvester, okay. That's all good. We've got a really high life total. We'll make it look like it's a go diff and so... Okay, I'm gonna poke in response to this then. Alright, that is them very, very dead. We'll sacrifice Love Strip Beast first. But yeah, that's a lot of damage. Okay, versus Black Red I feel pretty good about. The Midnight Reapers, you want my card draw. The Scavenging Oozes have some utility to them. Everything else is kind of mid. What do we actually want to cut is interesting. Is that the one where, like, actually Vran's fine here? It's not great. That is the one thing. So Vran, you said it once a time being legendary. Like, I find myself doing this a lot. But you do want to see one in game 1 if you can. And it's good when you see it. But you want to see exactly one. It's not, like, I don't know, not making some great waves. There are other things here. The Love Struck Beast, because of the nature they having a bunch of kill spells, aren't actually as good as they would be versus some other decks. They do make the 2 bodies, but we're not really worried about like blocking huge things, like blocking versus aggro. And they put some creatures into play themselves. If I'm looking on where to cut, I think this is the place to do it. Yeah, I'm gonna just take these out. All right. Okay. Alright, again, on the draw. Yeah, playing Magic on the draw is a little harder anyway, but hey, it's not probably as bad as versus Mono Red. And we have a very solid hand here, a bunch of huge payoff cards. We've got Early Acceleration. Like, if we get to go land on of Tyvar, that's great, but I think either we'll get Thought Seized or we'll get stomped or pushed, so hey. So we might be able to live the dream. Let's shock for a land off. The play pattern here is like, okay, let's get shocked. Fair play, we get to go untap, make a... Okay, cool, didn't get stomped. Happy about that. This actually plays out really nicely, so we're kind of drawing into our curve. We don't have a full land currently. If they don't have an answer for the priest, then we do then have mana. We do want to be a little more cautious when not playing... Oh, well that's good. What am I going to name here actually? This is interesting. They're going to name priest, that's fair. I'm going to play a creature, they do play a creature. Alright, that makes the creatures that we play a little worse. So maybe we want to, like, Tyvar activate. Or we could build up a little bit of a wall. They've only got 2 cards left in hand. If they use the Blood-Tide Harvest to kill the Woe Strider, where does that leave us? It leaves us with a collected company, I guess. Whereas if you go Tyvar... Well, you can just kill whatever we bring out with Tyvar. I think we make the Woe Strider here. Trying to make the most of our resources. And try to kind of play off the fact they only have a couple of cards left. Our hand was good, I think they mulliganed a bit. Well, our hand is good. Oh, so I've turned the like arena volume music up just so there's something playing in the background, like noise-wise. Let me know if that's good, if that's bad, if you find it annoying. Or if it's like, I don't know what to do if it's too quiet. I can't remember what I've got it set up to. I think it's like, oh, it's not max, but it's up quite a bit. Because my overall volume is quite low. Alright. I gotta see. So now we have company plus double Tyvar. I'm gonna main phase fire off one of these companies. There we land. Ooh, okay, just scavenging use. A little rough. We can offer an attack here. The Trespasser is a good reason to main phase it, I'd say. If we fire off the attack, they just get to block here. If we don't fire off the attack, they're gonna, like, kill that attack with the Trespasser. Is that fine? Sort of. We'll make the decision. If we get to keep the Woe Strider alive, then we'll happily keep the Woe Strider alive. Let's not sacrifice it for the sake of it. We get to do the little Graveyard Trespasser versus Scavenging Use dance for a little bit. Should be fine. Kind of depends on what else they've drawn. And they're eyeing up the Woe Strider. They're thinking about Blood-Tide Harvesting it. All against command. See, I want to scribe, but we're actually in a company anyway. And I'd rather keep the creatures in the hand high. I think we just got a Tyvar, but yeah. Okay. So now that leaves them. Oh, they didn't attack? Oh. Now I kind of like making Tyvar. Because we have to hit off of it, is the thing. Maybe we don't like it. Now's a good window for it because we get to... The problem is that this actually does a lot of work versus this. If we can activate Priest. We have one creature in the yard. Nah. I don't want them to just randomly draw Thoughtseize and get us. Let's do this. Alright. Find some Zillipoor Cutthroats. That's the next plan. Sheoldred is solid. I'm glad they're not swinging with the with the harvester. We still have Tyvar. I'm not gonna scry it. Okay. Cast this. Let's go fishing. Okay, we miss. Rough. We have scavenging use. I think we're fine. Children is pressure. Alright. Lead away a swamp. Take the draw. Because it still can't really attack the thing. Maybe it can. Maybe throw some stuff in front of it. Oh, we can threaten to. Oh, we actually kneel land. How does this go? Maybe let it die. Seems bad though. No, let's block it and scry. Seems pretty reasonable. Even though we're not really doing a bunch of the +1. You can definitely grind it out a little bit. Again, we're kind of incentivized. So we can play the, like, oh yeah, they've got a children in play, but we can draw some cards for a few turns. Sure. Land here is good. Just the Waste Rider. I think we're better off doing this from hand before they can exile it themselves. And then it also can now block Shieldred. Or attack into Shieldred. Either is kind of fine. Yeah, I'm not sure. We're gonna do some scrying, I think, is the plan. We want to do it after this thing's attacked. Alright, Trespass is good. I'll eat out the Tyvar or whatever. You get to keep control over the creatures, which is alright. Okay. Let's see what else we got over here. My turn. Alright, let's describe it. I mean, in theory, Tyvar's decent. Let's activate this one.
You're making me look at the fiends of this one. It's not a victory without you.
They have a kill spell for the. Not yet, I think.
We carve our deeds into history.
Reactivate. Oh, that's bad. For them. They're on 25 though. Like, hey. I'll cast this to flip back the graveyard gluttons rather than eating like a thing. I'm gonna push one of these. We have to do some responding. 1, 2. Let's scry for a good card. See where that leaves us. Get rid of the go first. Off it. Get rid of the 1/1. Don't want another scavenging use. Got a couple of those. Get rid of the Priest of the Forgotten Gods. It's making me sad. We can draw that, and that's okay. I think I'm fine letting this resolve now. Yeah. Alright, again, this light total is still going to be very high for the time being. Ooh. Okay. Got Voice Strider plus the podcast right for our next turn. I mean, we're not dying anytime soon. They can have a kill spell here. I think we just let this go. Yeah, I want to keep all the creatures to... Right, we've got a Zilport on top, but we're fine. Maybe they end up making some weird attacks here. I'm not sure if that's good for them. Alright. Alright, etc. We'll play the Voice Rider first. Now we play this one, right? This can't attack, and did you get double block by double graveyard trespassers? We'll plus this.
We can do this all day.
So they're top decking with nothing really going on. We can scry a little. Happy to scry here a little bit. Oh, for goodness sake. Well, that's rough. Do some stuff then. Let's find a new card that we like. We don't want to fill our board down too much. Midnight Reaper draws a bunch of cards. Those cards hurt us. How do I feel about that? Again, we can bring back another... Do the port cut through, but we don't have a great way to sacrifice stuff after that. Guess I'll do some weird finagling, maybe. With Shoulder changes the math a little bit, I think. So actually, we're just going to end up going Scavenging Ooze Boot down is most likely what's going to happen here. Allow it. They could also name Tyvar. Naming Tyvar might be decent. Okay. We hit land. Which I think is okay. Do I want to sacrifice Tyvar? Getting rid of Tyvar brings back his output cuts, right? Does that help me? Let's wait on decision on this. I'm gonna play this out. I'm gonna attack with the big Scavenging and see what they do. We have a bunch of creatures. We can definitely make this a 7/7 if we want to. Sure. Let's get rid of our Aztec Reaver. That's fine. In that case, I'm going to plus this. We'll untap the Scavenging Ooze. Need some defense as well. And I think I actually want to edge again. These can attack, but not very well. I think he can escape with everything. I'm pretty sure he can escape them. I'm gonna go ahead and make this a 5/5. Get rid of a Llanowar Elf. Do I want to save actual life? I think this is fine. I think I'd rather have both of them up to speed. We have plenty of priests and they're not doing much. That is okay. They're on 20, of course, which is, you know, not optimal. Well, that's it, Tyvar. What are we thinking about here?
We can win.
I'll bring back his input cuts right. Very surprising. We'll play the screen side up. Let's move to combat. I'm gonna attack with both scanner users. They can hive here. Sure. What do we do with hive? Are we putting a bunch of stuff in front of a bunch of stuff? No. Oh, they're gonna double block the little one. Yeah. 1, 1, 2. They should eat something. Eating that. Or I forgot we milled a bunch more stuff, didn't we? We can eat 4 more things. See what the card says. Elvish Mystic. Yeah, at least it's gonna right. I'm not tripping myself. Over. Yeah, this really does eat all the things. Okay. Yeah, the top deck is. Alright, this should be. I was gonna say Crocs is the worst thing I can. I didn't, but here it is. Alright. That does some stuff. We're not in a position where we want to shock the Overrun Tomb, but obviously it's not doing a ton of other stuff. I will move to combat. Declare attacks with these. How many cards are graveyard? Not that many. I'll leave the baby Waste Riders. We'll attack with these two. One, two. Because we want to bring those other podcasts right back, really. Obviously, they had a couple of creatures die here. Okay. Oh, let's eat Crocs for size. Good. The Trespasser. Okay. Butter Harvester. And we'll get that one. Do I want to leave one open? I don't think there's any real reason to. Let's get our scavengers out here. Oh, I'll get you out there.
Show them what you're made.
I'll show this. Alright. What we got? This went on for quite a while. I think this will be the last game. Because that'll make about 50 minutes, I think. Don't want to go over an hour. I'll do it. I understand there's some people who are like, I want to watch as much as possible, but there's also people who won't. Who are like, I will not click this video if it is like an hour long. So, hey. But if you're one of the people still watching at this point, I really appreciate you, and you're the reason I make content. So thank you so much. And also please subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Alright, that'll do it. Nice. Bastio, we played a couple of different matchups there. It kind of shows how good the deck is versus interaction. You can think about how good the deck would be for something like Mono Green, where they just don't have any interaction for like you going wide and just sacking your board away. You get to keep Priest as much as you want, and do the book as much as you want. And yeah, deck's great. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Peace out.